Hello, I'm Micheal Lohmeier. I'm your city assessor here at the City of Novi. I'd like to spend a few minutes with you discussing two very important exemptions which you may be eligible for: the Disabled Veterans Exemption and the Principal Residence Exemption. First, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the Disabled Veterans Exemption. The Disabled Veterans Exemption provides a 100% property tax exemption for disabled veterans or their unmarried surviving spouse. In order to be eligible for the exemption, the disabled veteran must have been honorably discharged from the Armed Forces of the United States, and in addition, the disabled veteran must be a Michigan resident, own their own home, use their home as their homestead, and meet one of the following three criteria. The first, the veteran has been determined by the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs to be permanently and totally disabled as a result of military service and entitled to veterans benefits at the 100% rate. Number two, the veteran has a certificate from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs or its successors certifying that he or she is receiving or has received pecuniary assistance due to disability for specially adapted housing. Or three, the veteran has been rated by the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs as individually unemployable. The Veterans Administration defines a service-connected disability as a disability related to an injury or disease that developed during or was aggravated while on active duty or active duty for training. The Veterans Administration schedule for rating disabilities is used to assess the medical conditions and illnesses incurred or aggravated during the veteran's military service, and a percentage rating from 0% to 100% is assigned based on the severity of the disability. Individuals must file the official State Tax Commission's affidavit for disabled veterans exemption to your local assessor's office for determination whether he or she qualifies. Individuals filing the affidavit for the exemption under the first condition I mentioned must provide a copy of the letter from the Veterans Administration indicating they have a 100% service-connected disability and are entitled to veterans benefits at the 100% rate. When a disabled veteran passes away, the exemption shall continue for his or her unremarried surviving spouse, and the exemption shall continue as long as the surviving spouse remains unremarried. Next, I'd like to talk to you about principal residence exemptions. A principal residence is exempt from the tax levied by your local school district for operating purposes up to 18 mills if the owner of the property claims the exemption properly by filing the affidavit for the principal residence exemption, or PRE. This affidavit is filed with your local assessor. Normally, this is filed with the assessor immediately after purchasing the property by the new owner, and the forms are provided by the closing agents. The owner must own and occupy the property as his or her principal residence on or before June 1st to claim the exemption for summer tax levy, or November 1st for the winter tax levy. There are a number of ways assessors determine whether a person is occupying a property as a principal residence, including the address on a person's driver's license, voter's registration, canceled checks showing the person's property address, bank accounts showing purchases near the property, medical billings from the physicians near the property, income tax returns showing the mailing address of the property, and/or insurance policies. None of these items are all inclusive that you are occupying the property, but they do help to determine your eligibility for occupying it. When a person no longer owns or occupies the property as a principal residence, they have to file a request to rescind a homeowner's principal residence exemption. Then the PRE is removed beginning with the next year. The exception is sometimes a person may qualify for a conditional rescission, which allows an owner to receive a principal residence exemption on his or her current Michigan property and on a previously exempted property. In this instance, the owner submits a conditional rescission of principal residence exemption form to the assessor before the June 1st summer tax levy date or the November 1st tax levy date, and the owner continues the exemption. The conditional rescission must be submitted annually on or before December 31st every year to verify the property still complies with the conditional rescission requirements in order to receive the exemption for the following year. In order to qualify for the conditional rescission, the owner must have purchased a second property in Michigan, and the previous principal residence must not be occupied. It has to be for sale, It cannot be for lease and it cannot be used for any business purposes. As a caveat, I would suggest you double check your assessment records to ensure we have correct measurements and information about your property. Also, if you believe you do qualify for the principal residence exemption, make sure we have your exemption affidavit on file with our office and that you are receiving the benefits of it. Both of these exemption affidavits I've mentioned are available at your assessing office for your convenience, and we'd be happy to explain the exemption further with you. I want to thank you for your time today. Have a wonderful rest of your day and a wonderful holiday season. Thank you.